Monastery of Batelha. The monastery of the Dominicans of Batelha was built to commemorate the victory of the Portuguese over the Castilians at the Battle of Aljubarrota in 1385. It was to be the Portuguese monarchy's main building project for the next 2 centuries. Here, highly original, National Gothic style evolved, profoundly influenced by Manueline art, as demonstrated by its masterpiece, the Royal Cloister. Constructed in fulfillment of a vow by King João to commemorate the victory over the Castilians at Aljubarrota, August 15, 1385, the Dominican monastery of Batelha, in the center of Portugal, is one of the masterpieces of Gothic art. The greater part of the monumental complex dates from the reign of João I, 1385 to 1433, when the church, finished in 1416, the Royal Cloister, the chapter house, and the funeral chapel of the founder were constructed. The design has been attributed to the English architect Master Huguet. The chapel's floor plan consists of an octagonal space inserted in a square, creating 2 separate volumes that combine most harmoniously. The ceiling consists of an 8-point star-shaped lantern. The most dramatic feature is to be found in the center of the chapel, the enormous medieval tomb of Dom João and his wife, Queen Philippa of Lancaster. Bays in the chapel walls contain the tombs of their sons, among them Prince Henry the Navigator. The main entrance of the church is through the porch on the west facade. On both sides of this portal are sculptures of the 12 apostles standing on consoles. In the center is a high-relief statue of Christ in majesty surrounded by the evangelists, framed by 6 covings decorated with sculptures of biblical kings and queens, prophets and angels holding musical instruments from the Middle Ages. This great profusion of sculptures is completed by the crowning of the Virgin Mary. As a monument charged with a symbolic value from its foundation, the monastery of Batelha was, for more than 2 centuries, the great workshop of the Portuguese monarchy. It is not surprising that the most characteristic features of a national art would have been determined there, during both the Gothic and the Renaissance periods. Batelha is a conservatory of several privileged expressions of Portuguese art, the sober architectural style of the end of the 14th century, with the stupendous nave of the abbatial, of which the 2-story elevation, with broad arcades and high windows, renders most impressive the exuberant aesthetic of the Capillus Imperfectus, the flamboyant arcades embroidered in a lacework of stone, the Manueline Baroque even more perceptible in the open-work decor of the tracery of the arcades of the Royal Cloister than on the immense portal attributed to Matheus Fernandes the Elder, and finally, the hybrid style of João de Castelo, architect of the Loggia constructed under João III, 1521 to 1557. The Dominican monastery of Batelha is one of the absolute masterpieces of Gothic art. The monastery of Batelha was, for more than 2 centuries, an important workshop of the Portuguese monarchy. The most characteristic features of a national art were determined here, both during the Gothic and the Renaissance periods.